Hey everyone, it is the Artistic Alpaca, and I just wanted to come and say, holy crap! Almost 6,000 views on that animatic. Wow, you guys, thank you so much for all those views, and I'm so glad that most of you, I guess I can say, appreciated and enjoyed that little animatic. And as promised, I kind of wanted to show you my way of storyboarding and everything, because I have learned that my animatic is super close to being an official animatic, but is still on the storyboard side of things because it's not as detailed as it should be. So this is just kind of my process and how I went about doing it. So first off, let's talk about subject matter. Okay, subject matter. Now, the great thing about this is it can be anything. You can do what I did and do a randomized thing, or you can figure out something on your own. For me, I've been playing around with an idea for being Underland for quite some time, and that's why I haven't uploaded another animatic. So, for the sake of this, I'm going to say it's going to be, I'm going to get this a little bit bigger so you guys can see, because I'm using my sketching color, which is a lilac kind of deal. So we're going to use my favorite musical. So Little Shop of Horrors. Now, what song should I do? Now, this is where it's going to be, I think this is going to be the most important decision for you. And the reason I say that is because with animatics, you have to listen to a song over and over and over again until you get sick of it, pretty much. So I think I'm gonna do Feed Me, because that seems like something. Oops, I messed that up. It seems like a song that not many people can get sick of, and it's actually my favorite, and I listen to it all the time anyway. So now that we have that, this is gonna be like the song. Now, characters. So of course, being Undertale, you know who one of the characters is going to be, right? He's going to be a jerk flower. I can't say the word I wanted to because, you know, gotta be YouTube friendly nowadays. Flowey the flower. So we're going to take this as subject matter number 1 for Audrey. So, you know, figures, right? Audrey too. That's totally going to be Flowey. And of course, since I said this was going to be in Underland, probably Underfell in this case, because let's face it, Alphys is kind of a jerk in Underfell for good reason, I guess, but whatever. So, little mechanic, a little bee. There she is. There she is. She's a good bean. She just loves her robo hubby. She's good. She's pure. She's pure. So she'll be number 2. And she will be Seymour. Now, I plan to cut the talking scene for the most part, but I do sort of want to have like the intro, the middle part of it kind of there. Like, I want it to be hinted at. I don't want like it to be the long thing where you actually hear Audrey getting beaten up by her awful boyfriend. So we're gonna stick with these 2 for now. And of course, you know, side characters that might be shown through posters or whatever. Metaton. And either Alphys or Papyrus. Because I love these characters, but hey, you know, it would be kind of cool to see them kind of be the jerks in the situation. So, there's Bee, there's Flowey. Little Shop of Horrors, get it. Got it? Okay, good. We're good. Step 2 will be character design. So, I'm just going to do something super simple. I'm not going to like take up too much of your time, but you want a good character design specifically so it's going to be easier for you to put into your animatics. So, you know, Audrey kind of had like this, and you know, Flowey does have an omega form too, which we can base off of if need be. So we're going to keep it simple for the sake of this animatic. We're going to keep B like kind of like that cartoon looking cutie. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like her little curve there, her little goggles, little neck, little figure 8 nubbins, because she thick, as Pixie Locks would say, she thick. Okay, we're gonna say good enough. Because, yeah, this is already taking too long, probably. So, character designs, pretty much, you got it. Got your characters. You just, like, try to design them for whatever way you need them. And now we can actually start to get going with the animatic, or the storyboarding. I will call this the storyboarding phase. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to draw a thumbnail, and a thumbnail is basically a miniature version of what you're going to be doing in the scene. You can have multiple, you know, it's okay to have multiple, and in fact, since I cannot remember what the song is, come on. Okay, so for sake of ease, I'm going to try and find just one scene to work out, just a couple of lines to make this easier. So give me a minute. Now that we have that. Okay, remember that these are storyboards, so if you want to add in between, you can. I'm just doing a basic thing for you guys. So it's feed me. So you might have like Flowey and like the actual. Beautiful mess that he is. Such a wonderful character, much adore. And then we'll have like a silhouette of her here. So see, nothing detailed, just super fast, and what you'll do is you'll do it for all of these. And then maybe a close up to where you can see him going like, you know, talking for the Seymour part. Because then you can be like, oh, he's addressing her. Like in a little walk kilt. Make him move. Like try to make it look like he is somewhat animated. And then you can have him face to face for the most part. Because he's going to be large in this because, you know, he's supposed to be Audrey. So you're going to have like her little face here. And you go look concerned. Yeah, much concerned. So like I said, keep it quick, keep it dirty if you can. And then maybe to add that creep out factor where he's like backing away, and like have her even smaller looking up, like, oh. So like that. This is what thumbnailing is. It's like super easy. No, pretty manageable, right? So now what we're gonna do is I'm going to only do this part. I am going to try, oops, try and explain it as fast as possible. So now this is when you can start sketching. Now remember that these don't have to be like super detailed or anything right now. They just need to be somewhat what you need, and then you can always go and clean up later. Here's my sketching pen. Now, it's going to be easier if you have like the proper size of the video, just like like duplicate it by like 100 or like 200%, so it's doubled up in size. So you can have like, so you know, like blah 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 blah. Say like just sketchy sketch, like just a bigger version of what you just did. Just a nice clean version of what you just did. Looks like I might only be able to do one. Yeah, I'll just do the one for you guys today. So, there. So now that you have the sketch, what you can do I'm just gonna duplicate this layer, so well I kinda do, so hold up. Just duplicate it just a little bit. Just a little bit of duplication. And then I'm going to switch to my darker color. And just finish out the sketch. Now you still want it to be sort of sketchy, but you want it to be able to be differentiated from the background, if that makes sense. So meaning you should be able to look at Flowey and look at Bee and pretty much know that they're two separate entities, and you know, you should be able to figure out what's going on in the scene without much of a struggle, which is something I see a lot of people who do this like completely neglect, which is understandable when they're beginners, but I have seen some professionals do it too. Like, yes, it is rough, but rough doesn't mean sloppy usually. It just means rough. You want sloppy, you can do it, I guess, but if you're wanting something that's gonna look like just... Sorry about that, that was my phone alert. You're going to want to have something a little bit cleaner. At least on YouTube. Like, I'm pretty sure in the professional field, this wouldn't be like, you need to have it like looking a certain way. But I know with YouTube, everyone prefers a cleaner animatics or something that looks a little bit more like, you know, looks a little bit more professional and finished. Sorry about the noises, that's my chair. It's old, it needs to be replaced. So, I'm gonna put her in her jacket for this particular scene because I am lazy today. I don't want to be until I keep you here too long. So, there we go. 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 So yeah. And then you basically do what I just did for each scene or line, adding as many frames as you want. And then you would put them together and line them up in a program like Sony Vegas or even Windows Movie Maker. I use Sony Vegas because I like to make my backgrounds and characters move from time to time. But you can do this in Windows Movie Maker as well, so it's not like you need like super fancy equipment or whatever. You just need some time and the patience of a saint. And once you have all your little things done, you just import them in and animated them like I say, and then you save your file. Once it's rendered, watch it. If you see any mistakes, you can catch them that way, and you'll probably end up rendering it several times over. I know I did because I kept noticing little mistakes or timing was off by like just a fraction of a second or whatever. And then once you finally have something you're satisfied with, that's when you can upload it to YouTube. And that's actually what I did with Dead Girl Walking. Some hints with animatics. If you want it to look like super professional, make sure that it has a ton of frames where the movements look fluid, meaning you can look at it and even without like the middle frames, you're able to see how the character is moving or reacting. Meaning an animation studio could look at it and go, okay, yeah, so I know what in-between keyframes we need just by looking at this piece of work. But yeah, that's how you do it. Let me actually, I'm going to show you, I can actually delete that one. Start out with the characters and song choice. Figure out how you want to draw them or whatever. As you can see, I just like sped through this. Thumbnail, your heart out. Just figuring out what goes where, and you can get more detailed if you want. Doesn't matter. If you're just a beginner, try storyboarding and not give yourself a time limit like I did. No, pick a storyboard. I ended up going with this one. Super duper rough. A little bit cleaner. And that's all, folks. Sorry if it wasn't like super precise or anything. I usually don't know what to do with tutorial videos like this unless it's something traditional. In Animatics, everyone has like their own style, so get out there and make some animatics and storyboards and like just basic stuff and be creative and have fun, you guys. I will see you next week, hopefully with a better video than this. And I hope you stay tuned. You can support me by subscribing, liking, commenting on any of this. If you have any questions, maybe about animatics that I didn't necessarily cover because I didn't want to take up like 30 minutes of time, leave that question or comment down below, and I will see you later.